Hi, I'm doing this short video just to explain a bit of software which we would recommend you having a look at and taking on to work with your online software to efficiently process your purchase invoices and receipts. So probably how you're kind of keeping your receipts, if you've kept them to date, might be something like this, keeping them in a box or a bag, just building them up over the year for us to sort them out. Or you might be collating them in a book, analysing them out and then cross-referring them back to the relevant invoice and receipt. Or using something like a spreadsheet, something like Excel, where you can list all your invoice and receipts and then obviously keep a cross-reference against the actual hard copy invoice and receipt. So nowadays, there's software available that makes your job a whole lot easier on how you collate this information. And a popular piece of software to use is a piece of software called Receipt Bank, which is an efficient way to maintain and record your purchase invoice and receipts that you have for your business. So the old way for keeping your records was to keep them in a bag, in a folder, all piled up, and then record them through either writing them down in a book or analysing them out in a spreadsheet. So what Receipt Bank does is efficiently, you can send it to the software and it will read all the relevant information, and then you can easily publish it through onto your online software. So why should you look to use it? There's a number of different reasons why you should. I've listed kind of 4 here. We can work with you on a real-time basis when you upload your information, as opposed to if we do it now, probably either on a quarterly basis if we do your VAT, or on an annual basis if we just deal with your year-end accounts. You don't need to keep the actual paper copies and receipts anymore because they're kept in Receipt Bank. An electronic copy will be kept, so that will be a readable electronic copy which meets all HMRC's obligations and requirements should you ever have an inquiry from HMRC, so you don't need to keep boxes and files of paper and invoice receipts anymore. You also make sure that you're claiming every single receipt that you're entitled to. So, and there was a study done a couple of years ago in 2016 that identified it was over £200 million worth of invoice and receipts for those small transactions, less than £5 that weren't being claimed, because generally what people do is that they lose the receipt, don't keep the receipt. Whereas efficiently you can just take a picture on an app, and right away you can make sure that you're recording that invoice or receipt and you're claiming it, which therefore effectively means you're claiming all your expenses, which therefore brings down your profits and therefore brings down any tax liability you have. And probably the most important reason why you should be looking to keep your records using something like Receipt Bank is that you'll be fully compliant with the new Making Tax Digital rules that are starting in April for businesses above the VAT threshold. And for all other businesses, it's anticipated at this moment in time it's going to be April 2020, so effectively 18 months away. That may well get pushed back. That's not kind of set in stone, but certainly set in stone is for April next year that all businesses that are above the VAT threshold and are VAT registered, they'll need to be keeping their records digitally, and using something like Receipt Bank will kind of meet the requirements for that. So what I'll do is I'll dive in and do a little short demo of Receipt Bank and how it actually works. So I've already got logged into Receipt Bank here. There's effectively 8 ways you can get the information into Receipt Bank. There's 3 main ways, and I'll just kind of briefly talk about the others. So first way you can do is you can upload. So you can have this Receipt Bank opened up on your computer, and you can either drag and drop scanned copies that you have of maybe PDFs or JPEGs. You can see it can be in these forms of your invoice and receipts, or you can just click here just to find the relevant files. So you can see here I've got some invoices here. So all you do is you just select these relevant invoices, just open them up, and then just drags and drops them in. You can see here these ones, it's saying they're failed. It's just because I've already uploaded these already, so that they're already processed in. So it kind of does recognise as well duplicate invoices. If you upload it once and then upload it again, it'll recognise you've already done it, so it doesn't record the same invoice twice, which potentially you could do if you do it manually yourself. You can also email it in, so you get a unique email address. You can make your kind of name before that sign, or ampersand, and it's just that receiptbank.me. So this is a unique email address you're allocated, and all you then need to do is when you get an invoice or a receipt emailed to you, you can just forward it straight on to that email address. Just got some some invoices here. It's actually just opened up the invoice. I don't want to do that. Let's drag that out of the way. So all you do is you just forward it on to that email address and then just send it. Even better, what you could do is, to save you having to do that, when your supplier sends it through to you, just tell them to always CC this address in as well. Then just it automatically goes into Receipt Bank without you having to do anything. And probably the most popular way that people get the information into Receipt Bank is using an app and just effectively taking a picture of the relevant invoice or receipt. So I'll just quickly show you that. So I'll just sync up with my phone. So hopefully now you can see my phone here. And we'll just open up the Receipt Bank account. Now you can see down the bottom here, there's this little, so these are all the ones that are already processed in at this moment in time, which I've already done. You just click on the little camera icon. It then opens up. There is actually 3 different ways you can do it. So you can take just one single invoice or receipt. You can do multiple, so you can take more than one. If you've got a bundle of them at a time, you can quickly take a bundle of invoices at a time and upload them. Or combine basically means if you have an invoice that's maybe got more than one page, or really a long receipted invoice that you want to take 2 or 3 pictures of that, rather than standing all the way back and taking a picture of it, you can just go 1, 2, 3 down the large receipt, and it just treats it as one invoice. So what we'll do is we'll just do it a couple of ways. So we'll take some multiple ones. So I've got a bundle of invoices here. So it's just a case of just make sure that you read the detail. We're happy with that. Then got another one here. So it's nice and simple, very easy to do. Just make sure you've got the relevant detail. You're just capturing, make sure it's got all the relevant details. And there's another one, another invoice here. Take a picture of it. So once we're happy with all them, we can just click the tick, and then that will upload them. If you wanted to do single ones, obviously just uploads them one at a time. So the benefit of this is you can actually check. So this will show you what the invoice looks like. So you can either, if you're not happy, if it's not clear, you can just click at the top here where it says top left-hand corner, where you can say do retake. You can just take it again. I'll say I wasn't happy with that one. I can just retake it again. And if you're happy with it, down at the bottom it says submit for processing. You just click that, and that's then getting uploaded. So nice and easy. So an efficient way, if you're out and about and you're buying fuel, etc., or out in a shop, you get a little receipt such as this. Just a case of getting in the habit, or you've got a parking ticket, just get in the habit, take the picture, process, job done. So very, very efficient way of doing it, of recording your details. So I'll just close that down. So they're the 3 most popular ways: uploading it directly, forwarding it by email, or uploading it by taking a picture on your phone. Another option you could just put them all into a bag and post them off to Receipt Bank. They do have a free post service. They do have bags that Receipt Bank make up that they send you out. It costs, I think, £3 a month. Or you can just make up your own bag and just put the free post address in it and let them process it. So it's just a case of sticking all your invoice and receipts into that bag, and they'll process them all for you. You can link to your PayPal account. So if you have a PayPal account, Receipt Bank will go and actually pull all the relevant invoice and receipts off, because you should be keeping those invoice and receipts that are processed through PayPal, and then upload them to your Receipt Bank account and record all the details. So again, very useful if you've got a PayPal account. If you use your own vehicle for business use, you can link it to another app called TripCatcher. So if you've maybe kept your records to date, you may have kept them manually or kept them on a spreadsheet where you do all your mileage. TripCatcher is an app where you can just put in the mileage that you do. It effectively works like a GPS system. You just say start and stop, and it will actually work out the mileage for you. Or you can just type in where you went from and to based on postcodes. I won't cover this in any detail. I'll probably do a separate video on this, because we'll be looking to kind of include TripCatcher as well. I'd recommend that you should use TripCatcher as well if you've got using your own vehicle for business use. But what you can do is the TripCatcher, you then just publish it through, and it automatically pushes through to Receipt Bank, so it records all your mileage for you. If you use Dropbox to store all your receipts, you can link your Dropbox account directly to Receipt Bank, and it'll recognise any new ones that you drop in, you save into your Dropbox account. And the final one, which is quite a new option, is Fetch. So this is for where you have maybe like an online portal, which generally is for things like insurances, telephone bills, utility bills. So to save you the hassle of going in and logging in and either emailing them on or printing them out and taking a picture of them, what Receipt Bank will do is if you just link Receipt Bank directly to your provider, it will go into your account on a daily basis and pull out any new invoices that are processed, saving you the hassle of doing it. So there's at the moment, I think there's over 2,000 suppliers set up. So we'll just have a look at some. So for instance, like BT's there. So some other telephone, EE's there. 3, Vodafone. They're not all there. They're just slowly adding them on. But it's only been out for a couple of months. So there's Vodafone UK. Utility companies, EDF is there. I don't know, Scottish Power. Scottish Power's not there, or Scottish Electricity. So Scottish Gas isn't there. So you can see there's still some to be added on, but you can see it's just by case of just seeing as your portal, the company that you use on there. I would suggest linking it up to Receipt Bank, and it'll go and find it for you, saving you the hassle of going and pulling the information out yourself. So once you've either uploaded or emailed it or taken a picture, or however you've done it to get into Receipt Bank, what does it actually look like? So this is what it looks like. So these are your invoices here. So you can see what it's done. So I've just taken a picture. It's read the date, it's read the supplier, it's read the amount, the total amount, it's read the tax, the VAT amount. So what we can do is you just log in. So there's a picture of the invoice. It tells you what type it is. It recognises that that's a receipt. It's picked up the date, who the supplier is, the currency, the total amount. It's extracted out the VAT. In this case, this isn't a VAT invoice because it doesn't actually break down the VAT, so there's no VAT allocated out. What you would then do is go in and say, okay, where do you want to allocate that in Receipt Bank? So it'll allocate that into your cloud accounting software. So I've linked to Xero, so I pulled through some Xero accounts here. So let's just say that's a dental bill, so it wouldn't be a business expense. Probably just say we put that to director's loan. And you can also actually set it so that if anything additional comes through from still in dental practice, it will recognise that category going forward. You can put a description in of a narrative if you wanted to do so. And then all you then need to do then is click publish. And that then will publish it through for you. So you can see there that one's getting published through. There's a next one which is Morrison's. Again, just really depends what you bought. So that might have been, I don't know, some fuel maybe. So you've got more expenses, if that's what it was. And then all it's a case of doing is just clicking publish. Over time, it will recognise various suppliers, so you can actually then select if the categories. You can actually go in and, if you're quite happy, you can just go in and create the category. So this might just be food or something. I don't know what account we've got set up. So it's not food. Just say this was stationery. So we publish that to that, because you need to then have the category set up. Let's say this was more expenses. Again, because what it'll do is, so you can see here I've got 2 for this MRH, which is a petrol station. So over time, it would recognise when you do it the next time, when you upload the next ones, it will actually recognise what that is. So it'll actually categorise it for you. Let's just say this was a, I don't know, let's just pick an account. Say that was it, charitable donations. This was entertainment. So it's just directly linking to the accounts, the different accounts that you have set up in your cloud package, which might be Xero, it might be QuickBooks, it might be Cashflow. It links to a lot of the online softwares. If you're not even using online software, you don't need to be using it. You can download this as a spreadsheet, as a CSV file, and it'll populate, saving you having to if you did use a spreadsheet yourself, it saves you having to populate it yourself. Let's just say this was repairs. So you can see here I'm kind of quickly going through and just allocating these to different accounts. And what's happening, these are getting published directly through to my Xero account that I've got linked up. How long does it take to read these invoices once you take a picture or email it in? It's on average, it's 90 minutes. So it is very fast. The ones these are uploaded, I think they were done within 10 minutes. So it is really, really fast. So it's not a case it takes days for it to process. It does it really, really quickly. So you can see these are then, I'm allocating all, so I think there's 15 that I've got here. I'm just allocating them to different accounts. So you can see these are getting published through. So if I refresh the screen, I think we've got 14 here. So you can see they're starting to push through, so there's only 12 left at this moment in time. So I've now published all them through. So there was 14 sitting in there to be published. I've now published them all through. So what does that effectively mean? What it's done is it's taken it out of receipt bank, the information that you had, you then categorised it against the various accounts where it's to go into. Where I've linked it up to Xero, the Xero account, which is the online software we would recommend. But you can use it quite a lot of the different online softwares. So if we look at Xero now, I processed it to awaiting payment. So the 14 invoices are now, purchase invoices are now sitting in here. And you can see that these little paper icons where it's got a number 1, if we just now open up one of these. So what this has done is it's basically pulled in who it is, the date, the reference, that's invoice number. If you put a description in Receipt Bank, it would put that in here as well. You can obviously then just edit this and put your own description if you didn't want to give a description. You don't have to give a description. The quantity, the unit price, the account is going to, if there's any VAT in it or not, and then as you can see it's extracted out the relevant amount. But the important thing is you actually have a picture of the receipt attached into your account software, which you can see here kind of ties up here, which is really the kind of important thing. So you no longer need to keep this hard copy receipt anymore. What we can then do is these are sitting as draft bills waiting for approval. You can push them through as just waiting approval if you wanted. These are effectively being processed through as a waiting payment. So these are like your invoices that you would have sitting in your Xero account to be matched up against your bank account when they come through. So eventually when you get your when the bank statement comes in with these being paid, if you're paid them through your bank account, you'll have an invoice outstanding for this amount, and the bank amount will be the same amount, and then it'll come up with the green option to reconcile the two against each other. So you can see a really efficient way of processing your purchase invoice and receipts and not having to keep paper copies anymore. So there's obviously a cost for using Receipt Bank. So this is the options if it's a single user, so you're just using one person using it. So they charge for up to 50 invoices a month, 50 invoices receipts a month, it's $9.99. If you're doing on average 100, it's $19.98. And what they do is they kind of review it on a kind of 3-month cycle. So if you kind of hover between the two, they just kind of adjust you as appropriate on a 3-month cycle. If you wanted to give the login details or give different email addresses to be used, or using the app for more than one person, so multiple users. So if you had staff, the staff could take pictures of them, then rather than £10 a month, it's £20 a month for 50, £30 rather than 20 for an average 100. But compared against manually recording these, if you had 40, 50 invoices a month, it would save you a lot of time. Plus, you don't need to keep the paper copies anymore. So it's just a really efficient way of keeping your records. So obviously having a look, Xero, if you're using Xero is effectively it's £22 plus VAT a month for the kind of standard unlimited package. Receipt Bank for at least 50 is at least $9.99 per month. And if you look to use the app Trip Catcher to record your mileage, efficiently rather than keep bothering with spreadsheets. That's 149. So those three together would cost you, if you went and bought them yourself, at least £33.48 per month. So just over £40 including that. We've got a special deal if you take all three, because we basically kind of see these as being the kind of three key apps and softwares that you need to use. Xero to record your accounting transactions, Receipt Bank to efficiently get your receipts, record your receipt, purchase invoice and receipts, and Trip Catcher to record your mileage in your personal vehicle. So rather than £33.48 plus VAT, our price for all three is £25 plus VAT. So effectively, it costs Xero. If Xero on its own costs £22, so effectively you're getting Receipt Bank and Trip Catcher for effectively £3 plus VAT extra, which is a combined discount on the three of 25%. If we are doing your bookkeeping for you, and so this is where if you're doing your own bookkeeping, that's what we could do the deal for. If we were doing your own bookkeeping, we give you it for free. So basically, we bundle everything: Xero, Receipt Bank, and Trip Catcher for free. So we include that as part of our bookkeeping cost. So it's our choice what we want to use, and we would be using Xero, Trip Catcher, and Receipt Bank. So we bundle all three together, and it wouldn't cost you a penny for the actual software. If you have any queries regarding this, then obviously don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I actually got the wrong number there. It's 721156. If just below this video, there's options of click to see if you're interested. Yes, you're interested. No, you're not interested in looking at Receipt Bank, or you're not sure and maybe want some more information. I'm quite happy to speak to you on an individual basis. Certainly, I would recommend looking at it, and going forward, it's something with the Making Tax Digital coming in. It's just we're looking to get everybody kind of digitally based, so that by when whether it's next April that you need to do it, or the April after that, then it's if you're keeping your record digitally kind of over the next period of time, then when you actually have to make sure that you comply with the Making Tax Digital rules, it'll be a seamless process and you won't kind of notice any difference. As I say, any queries, either don't hesitate to give me a call or drop me an email. Hopefully you found that of use. Thanks, then. Bye.